Life is a sacred journey. Every week, we bring a new perspective to aging and caregiving. Here is your host, Micheal Pope.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you and the Life is a Sacred Journey neighborhood. Hit the share button, write in the chat, let us know that you're there for another Friday. I am Micheal Pope. I am your hostess or host. You know, I'm learning all this stuff. I noticed that the gender stuff, they're taking off the stuff. So I'm trying to learn all that as I move forward in this journey. But welcome to Life is a Sacred Journey. This is our 50th Pondering. Felicia is so good in making sure that I know all those things because I don't keep track of them. But thank you, Felicia. And thank you to the universe for allowing Felicia to travel to the other part of the world to visit her family, and she's safely there. So thank you, Felicia, for everything that you do. And hello to our family in Moldova. Give them our greatest love because we are thinking about them as things still seem to be happening over in the Ukraine, but we know that love will prevail. And her family is safe, and now she is safely with them. So yay. So good morning, everybody. How are you doing? I missed you last week. I had an incredible a weekend retreat with 40 women, and we had incredible conversations, incredible enlightening moments, and just an connection, coming together, connecting with one another, and showing that sisterhood is possible if we just let our guard down and stop acting like the people, the women that they're showing us that we should behave like. It was just an incredible, wonderful experience. And so thank you, the Northern District of the United Women in Faith, for allowing me to spend the weekend with you and to facilitate the dialogue, the learnings, and the connection. So thank you so much. I hope you all are well. Today is the 50th Pondering, and I'm very excited about that because that's just an amazing amount of thoughts coming out of my brain. But it also shows that we've had some incredible guests, friends that have come to Life is a Sacred Journey, because we do this every Friday morning at 8 a.m. And so I'm just so thankful to all of the people that have brought their talent, their research, their thoughts to Life is a Sacred Journey. We have been honored, and we are so thankful. So it's not just me. Thank goodness it's not just me. It is a group of people from all over the world that share things about nutrition, self-help, motivation, mindfulness, caregiving, just all of the different perspectives of life. And that's why we call it Life is a Sacred Journey. So good morning to all of you who have been joining us every Friday now for a long time. And for those of you that this is your first time, welcome. And let's get into our pondering. One of the things that I realized that has been happening, a lot of folks, as I travel and talk to people, a lot of people are asking the question, how do we reduce the risk of dementia? How do we prepare for our aging and start some preventative activities in our lives so that, again, that we lower the percentage of the possibility of being diagnosed with dementia. So I did look it up. One of my favorite websites, if you have not found it yet, is the National Institute on Aging. They have an incredible website. They also have publications in English and in Spanish. And some other, I think I've been seeing more and more other languages coming up. But it's a great site for not just the statistical data about what's happening as people are aging in their communities, but it also has a wealth of stuff that you can print, that you can send for. I just sent for 10 books on, how to stay active that we'll use and do trainings with the staff so that they can themselves, one, stay active, but also share. And we can, perform some of the exercises in our program. So I have to say, as I've gotten older and because of the field that I'm in, I have an increased, I'm not going to say anxiety, but awareness of the possibility of memory loss or, cognition challenges. And so developing dementia is something that I think about quite a bit. And not from a doom and gloom perspective, but am I doing the right things? Am I getting enough rest? Is my life stress-free? All of those. So while there are many factors that influence our risk of a diagnosis of dementia, there are some things that we can do to diminish that percentage, maybe stop the dementia altogether, and I say maybe because some things we just don't have a whole lot of control in, but these are the things that we do. One of them is controlling our high blood pressure. I know that because I've been diagnosed with that borderline blood pressure thing. And so, I had to start by doing a cleanse and a detox to get rid of the sugars and all the things that were in my body and trying to really change the way I was metabolizing food and all of that. I was on a prescription for a short period of time, but I was determined that I wanted to come off of that prescription and really control my blood pressure. But it was a lot of work, and it took a couple of years of steadfast dedication to ensure that my blood pressure came down. One, I had to buy one of those blood pressure machines so that I could take my blood pressure in the morning, take it at work midday, and then again in the evening to see where the fluctuations in my blood pressure were taking place. Was it at work, where I'm a little more stressed and a little bit more engaged in multiple activities? Whatever it was, when I ate something, did I feel like my blood pressure was going up from whatever was in the content of the recipe of what I was eating? So the risk of stroke and the risk of high blood pressure, meaning living with it and untreated. When I spoke to the doctor about this, she was very informative, and she said it really is untreated high blood pressure. One, we need to do things to try to prevent it, but there are so many people in the United States and across the planet that are living with untreated high blood pressure. So check your blood pressure out, get a plan around it, talk to your physician. I know that at Kaiser Permanente, they have blood pressure clinic, and that's a good place to start. They really try to say, how much exercise are you getting? All those things that affect your blood pressure. So we want to control our high blood pressure. We want to treat it with medication if that's where we are. And then we want to make sure we have healthy lifestyle changes. Many of you know I was a smoker for many, 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 many years. I really enjoyed it as well. I'm not going to sit here and lie about it. I do miss it even this day. When I smell it, I want one. And I went back and forth with smoking until I finally quit altogether. And a part of it was my blood pressure, making sure that I was not contributing to it. Exercising is a big deal. And exercising. And again, I couldn't find anything that said that you had to do an hour. It is really that 30 minutes a day, up and down the stairs, timing it. I stopped wearing my Fitbit because of my eczema. It started, making an itching on my arm. But I know that I'm going up and down the stairs. I'm using stairs whenever possible, avoiding the elevator. I know it's convenient, but if you can find a set of stairs and you feel safe walking them, because sometimes I know in parking garages and things we're not safe. We're going to do a whole show on safety because I'm learning it's a scary world out there, particularly for women. Women are being attacked in parking lots and all of that. But we'll do a show on that and maybe get someone from that's really looking at this to come and talk to us about that. We want to maintain a healthy weight. That's not the yo-yo. You don't want to do that. That yo-yo is not only bad for your heart and your heart vessels and the way you pump, the blood and all of that, but you want to maintain a good, healthy weight for you. And again, that's a conversation with your physician, what that weight is, the BMI, all of that, your body mass index, all of those things. You want to make sure you have a clear understanding what those numbers mean to you. I always say, know your numbers, because that's really important. Write them down, keep a journal. I had it nearby. Oh, here it is. Keep a journal with all of your thought, your measurements, and all of your numbers and everything, so you can look at it over time. And when you've, like the other day, I had 4 scoops of ice cream. Oh my gosh. Okay. It was delicious. And I didn't beat myself up about it. It was delicious. What can I tell you? I'll tell you what it was. Strawberry, maple walnut, chocolate, and vanilla. Goodness gracious. But again, not every day, not even every week, but every once in a while, we have to treat ourselves for the work that we're putting in, but maintain a healthy weight and what that means to you, because there's an increased risk of diabetes and heart disease. And we know that those things too have a direct correlation with a diagnosis of dementia. And if you have strokes, little mini strokes, that also causes a form of dementia. And again, heart health, mind health, put the two together and think of it as your heart is that pumping battery that's sending all that stuff to your brain. And you really need to make sure that you're feeding your brain appropriately. Blood sugar, I didn't even understand the correlation between blood sugar and levels that were higher, the glucose levels that could lead to diabetes. And I am a chocoholic. I love sweet stuff. I'm not really big on cookies and things of that, but put some chocolate in front of me and I can get down. And particularly those turtles, the turtles, the ones that have the pecan. Okay, so when you look at the package of that, there's 3 pieces of it in there, and it tells you the sugar content and all of that for 1 piece. So they are really thinking that you're going to buy that. Well, actually, they're probably not thinking that, but you're going to buy that and you're going to eat 1 piece and just be satisfied. I'm here to tell you, I've never purchased a package of turtles and only ate 1 piece. I've always eaten all 3 of the pieces. So it's 3 times the amount of whatever is on that. I was watching a wonderful doctor on YouTube, and she was talking about that, look at that what they're telling you is the content of sugar, sodium, collect all of that. It's for 1 serving. So if you're going to eat 3 servings, then you have to multiply it by 3 and make sure that's not your daily content for the day. Again, age, gender, all of those things, working with your physician, and really figuring out how much sugar you're taking in, how much sodium. So maintaining your blood sugar levels and make healthy food choices, and mix it up so that you're not consuming a diet that's one thing. Again, I am not a physician. This is really just things that I'm reading. This again is coming from the National Institute on Health and Aging, and just really you can look up information and find it. I'm just sharing it with you, and this is bugging me. I apologize. I'm sharing it with you because I did look it up on your behalf. Eat a healthy diet mixed with fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and if you eat meat, lean meat. Lean meat is so important. You don't want that a bunch of fatty, a little marbles. I found out you need a little marbleization in your meat, but not enough that it's just really a lot of fat. And that's really not good for you. And seafood, I'm learning that there are some seafoods that are not good for us. But the reality is, with everything in moderation, I like certain types of fish that every once in a while I actually love certain types of fish and seafood. I try to look at it and how much of it that I'm eating, one, because of what we're doing to the waters, and, just really paying attention to what you're putting in your body and how much of it at any given time. Again, keeping physically active is important because you really want to be able to live your best life, and embracing that 30-minute routine. Going for a walk is the easiest thing that you can do. Again, a safe route, do it with a partner. There's two ladies that walk by my house every day, pretty much. I don't see them every day, but they walk by every day. And I'm able then to see that they're really in this routine together, but they're together in case somebody, hurts themselves or something happens. There's another person. I see that they have their cell phones with them, so they're safe that way. But, make sure that you're safe in your walking. And even if you have to walk alone, make sure your route is one that's safe. I used to walk at sunrise. I don't do that anymore. Yeah, because I had a dog that was more of a guard dog at that time, Alpha. And so I felt comfortable walking with him because, you'd have to go through him to get to me. I don't have that kind of dog anymore, sadly. And thank you, Alpha. But he kept me safe many a times when there were people who had slept in bushes or in my route. They didn't do me any harm, but he alerted me to them. Way before I got them. So definitely, let's really talk about our routes and how we do them. You don't want to do it midday. Right now, all over the country, and I know here in California, we are in this massive heat wave thing that keeps coming and going and coming and going. I mean, it was 71 degrees when I left my neighborhood this morning. So, make sure you do it with a buddy, but stay physically active. Even if you hurt, let me tell you, if you hurt, I have sciatic. So there's always this little tinge of something going on. But I find when I'm walking, when my sugar is less, when I'm not eating a whole lot of sugar, when I'm really balancing, I come out of a detox, I don't hurt as much. So you see, the things that I just spoke to actually help us with some of that pain. Doesn't mean if you have arthritis or, all of these things that are chronic diseases that cause pain, that you will not need medications. But keeping your bones and your ligaments, active and engaged. That's why when you have knee replacements and things, that physical therapist is getting you walking on stairs, bending your knee, moving as quickly as possible so things don't tighten up. And that's exactly what going out and being physical is all about. I'm getting ready to start doing some boxing. I found that it resonates with me. I like the physicality of it. So I'm going to be doing that. I have a bicycle that stationary bicycle. I don't like it as much. I lose interest in it pretty much after 15 minutes, but at least I do put 15 minutes in on that, and then doing that walk. So if you're mix it up, because if you get bored, then you stop. The other thing that I'm looking into is this thing called wall Pilates. I'm going to check it out. I'll let you know more about it. Pilates has always been a form of exercise that actually resonates with my body frame, as well as being an asthmatic, because it gives me the opportunity to catch enough breath. There's a lot of breathing in it. So Pilates has been I love Pilates. I have so many Pilates CDs at home. I don't need them anymore because you can stream it on YouTube and things. But Pilates is really, now they have this thing called wall Pilates. So I'm going to figure it out, and maybe we'll get somebody. We'll get the cashew method back and have them talk to us about how we integrate those things in our health. Staying mentally active, I agree with this. I agree with this in so many ways. I was, as I get into this age of life where everybody else is retiring, or people say, when are you going to retire? I always have to, there's a couple of things that I'll say around that. One is there's a privilege point around that comment that doesn't always apply to everybody. Not everybody has had a job where they have retirement funds, or they've been married and they have two incomes that they have brought in and been able to save forever. There are some people out here, even with the best of planning, that don't have the opportunity to retire as early as some, or maybe even at all. That, with Social Security, the high cost of living, the cost of food, the cost of rent, if they have to rent, even with Section 8 and the little assistance, they have to go do something else in order to be able to travel, to buy clothes, to pay for the medical costs that are out of pocket and not covered by their whatever Medicare, Medi-Cal plans, or so I think we need to be careful. I was thinking about that the other day, that we need to be careful that not everybody has that privilege of thinking of retirement in the very same way that maybe you might or I might. So we need to be careful with our words. I'm learning more and more. Be careful with your words, because what you can do, somebody else may be struggling to do. And just by the very thought that you act like it's a given makes them feel unseen and unheard. So let's think about that. But if you can stay doing something, that is what I read. It said, yes, if you retire and you have the wonderful life that you can do that, and you have enough money, your house is paid for, whatever your wonderful situation is, first be grateful for it. I always say, be grateful, be grateful, be grateful, because there's somebody else that is not in the same situation as you, and they're struggling, or they're trying hard just to make it. So stay mentally active by adding new things into your life. I see that there's people taking on new hobbies, learning new things, traveling, making new friends, reading, painting, singing, learning how to play an instrument. Just keep your mind mentally active and engaged, and stretch it. Word puzzles. People do word finding puzzles downstairs. They do jigsaw, puzzles, all of that. Now, yes, they've already been diagnosed with the diagnosis of dementia, but we are helping them to maintain engagement and all of that. Doing puzzles. I am so blessed. I love doing puzzles. And my daughter gave me for Christmas a table where now I can put my puzzles on. It has a cover so the puzzle pieces don't fly over, and the drawer that I can, and I can stand and do it, which is really good to not be sitting all the time, that you can stand. So it comes where I don't have to lean down. And so it's a really great thing. So do puzzles if that's what you like to do. Gardening, volunteer. I always say, because I'm always looking for individual seasoned employees, or employees with experience that are willing to come for minimum wage to help. Because I know a lot of times there's folks that can't make a certain amount in order to keep their Social Security benefits, but then there's an opportunity for them to make more. I'm always looking for those employees to help us out here at ASAB, Alzheimer's Services of the East Bay. So keep your mind active and engaged and involved. The other thing I want to tell you is that one of the mental activity things that I have just begun to do And I knew about this because we do it in the program, but any of the places that are on my vision board, I have a travel vision board of the places that I want to go. I'm starting to look at the videos where they have the person take you on the tours of the different things, just to make sure that's really where I want to go, and making a list of the places I want to see as a visitor, because I don't want to be like a tourist that just goes to the touristy things. There are places and spaces that I want to see. And so how do I do that? And how do I prepare for that? So mentally active, keep your brain mentally active. Stay connected with family and friends. This is like my biggest Achilles heel. I try to text and to stay in contact with family and friends with the hours of difference that we have, 3-hour time difference, 9 hours, different time zones and all of that. But sending a text any hour, day or night, I have learned is a way to stay in touch. They'll get it when at their time. And, I always tease a couple of my friends and go, make sure your phone volume is turned down, because I might be the one texting you at 3 a.m. So, but stay in touch. I'm guilty as charged. And I've lost contact with people because of that. I've let my life get busy and getting engaged in the face, the thing that's right in front of me at that given time. So stay connected. Connecting with people is one of the biggest gifts that we have. Why we do Life is a Sacred Journey is because we're connecting. So connect in the chat right now. Say hello to somebody else that's probably watching at this time, or even if they're watching later. Say hello. How are you? Connect. Treat hearing problems. This is a new one I really didn't know very much about. You have treating your hearing problems is really important, and making sure that you can hear. So you get benchmark hearing tests, and make sure that you know. Oh, there it is. I could hear somebody downstairs. Excuse me. I don't know why it's not working. I've done the best I can. Okay, there we go. I don't know what's happening. So treat your hearing problems. Get a hearing exam. I'm actually scheduled to get one in August, and so I'll be doing that. Take care of your mental and physical health. That's going to be really important all the way around. Get some sleep. You want to prevent head injury. Head injuries happen when you don't wear a helmet. When you're hiking, sometimes hiking, when you're doing that crazy kind of hiking, wear a helmet. On a bicycle, skateboard, these motorized things, making sure that you take care of your head. And they say avoid or limit your alcohol. That's really important. I mean, of course, we have cocktails, we have a glass of wine, all of those things when we're socializing. But you want to not make it something that it's you want to control it. It's just like everything, I think, in life, that word moderation applies. So I hope those little tips have helped you this morning to put them on your list of things that you are thinking about, and what you will be looking towards adding to your Get Health list. You can start a Get Healthy plan anytime you want. So we're going to do a couple of ifs, because I love to add those to the ponderings, and I'm going to have to fix this idea of this blouse and everything, because it's been making me crazy in front of you the whole time. So please forgive me. But we're going to do two of them. If you could spend 1 year looking for one thing in the world, what would you search for? Let's say it again. If you could spend 1 year looking for one thing in the world, what would you search for? And I think I've used this one before, and I think I said the Garden of Eden. I would love to find the Garden of Eden and the Tree of Life. I would search for it for a year. So the other is, if you could pick one famous person to be your neighbor, who would you have next door to you? One famous person that you could pick as your neighbor, who would you have next door to you? Who would that be? Oh man, there's so many people I can think of that I would love to live next door to. But I think in this moment in my life, I'd love to live next door to Nikki Giovanni. Yeah, I just think she's a queen and an amazing poet, and I have followed her as soon as I learned that she existed on the planet. So it would be Nikki Giovanni for me. So our ifs questions come out of the book If Questions for the Game of Life by Evelyn McFarlane and James Saywell. I am not sure if this book is still in publication. I've had it for a while, but this is the book If. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you this morning because the weekend is upon us and I've got to get going and get some things done this day. But I want to thank you so much for joining us here at Life is a Sacred Journey. I hope the pondering of the things about dementia will be helpful to you as you put together your self-care plan. And as always, we want to thank you for coming to Life is a Sacred Journey. We're always changing and morphing. We make mistakes. And, I think we like it that way. I know you do. You always are writing and saying, I just love that your show is so authentic. So thank you for all your well wishes. The other thing is that if you share and tell people and get our numbers up, we would be so thankful. So thank you for that. And if you are someone out there that is feeling anxiety, sadness, and feel that there is nothing left for you, and you're thinking about suicide, or you just need to reach out and talk to a professional that can give you the resources that you need, provide you the resources, and listen. The number that you should be texting or calling or sending a message to is 988. Simple, simple, simple. And they have been helping people. The suicide hotline has been helping people for many, many years. But recently, I believe it's been in a year or 2 years that 988 number came up, and they've been helping people more. Why? Because it's easy to remember. So know that you matter, know you are loved, and know that we want you on this planet. So please don't take your life. 988 is the number you should call or text or message. So have a wonderful weekend in the neighborhood of Life is a Sacred Journey. Tomorrow, I will be visiting Point Arena, Better Place Forest, where my tree is. And so I hear that there's not a whole lot of bandwidth up there, but I'll tape it and we'll put it up so that you can see me greeting the tree where my ashes will be once I'm no longer on this side of the universe. So thank you so much, everybody, and have a great week, and go out and hug a tree, because I will be today, tomorrow. Pet a cat, pet a dog, and be the best you that you can be. All right. Peace.